Alrighty friends, here today I'm going to talk about the Blazar Remus 45mm 1.5x anamorphic lens. This one has the amber flare, it's EF mount. I rented it on ShareGrid. This is actually just an anamorphic lens test for an upcoming spec commercial project. It's actually my first time I've ever shot anything anamorphic, so it was a good experience. I feel like I learned a lot. I rented the lens for $100. Just a couple of notes. Pretty much everything you'll see when I show footage later was mostly shooting between 2 and a 4. I thought this was a good lens to try since for that spec commercial that I'm going to be working on next month, we're looking at Atlas Mercury lenses. Those are also full frame, 1.5 squeeze. Atlas has a 42mm, so I figured this would be a good test. Just kind of like quick little thoughts on it. I think the big thing with this lens compared to some of the other budget options is you have that barrel distortion, which is pretty classic of anamorphic lenses. Some of the other cheaper anamorphic lenses, it looks like a light streak filter, and I don't really think it looks that good. This actually looks like a real anamorphic lens, and it is. And yes, I shot wide open for the most part, and you know, at some points you could kind of see aberrations, some, you know, funky character, but that's why you're shooting anamorphic. You want the character, you know, you want something with a lot of texture, cool bokeh, some aberrations, some of the imperfections of the lenses is actually that's why you want to shoot with these. So first I just started to do some tests around the house. It was a good experience. You know, I first updated my FX6 firmware, so that has D-squeeze, and I believe you could do 1.33, 1.5, and 2x. On the FX3, which firmware I also updated, I think that one only has 1.33 and 2x. So I think on the FX3 it doesn't have 1.5. So I mean, having D-squeeze in the camera is nice, and it's just for monitoring. It's not actually D-squeezing your footage in post, but I wound up doing all my D-squeezing, aspect ratios, and cropping and framing actually all on my small HD monitor. Let's turn this off. A clean image right here. Let's say this was anamorphic. First I would go anamorphic, choose my squeeze factor. Let's say it was 1.5. Then we're gonna go into aspect ratio. Choose your aspect ratio. I'm doing 239 to 1. I'm gonna go back. And then I'm gonna go to crop and scale. And with this, see those red lines? I'm just gonna make it, man, just so I could show you. So we need to crop in. And then this way, see? That's right there, and height to right there. So now we have the correct aspect ratio, anamorphic is on, and the correct cropping is on. So when you follow this pattern and you monitor it this way, you'll be able to basically do those steps back in your NLE. I wish I still had the lens to show you guys this, but obviously you need a monitor that has these features. If not, then I'll show you another way you could do it. I turn anamorphic off. Back here, I'm gonna go to 1.5. Only way you could get D-squeeze out of this camera is with an HDMI. And again, I'm always gonna shoot with a monitor. Then I get to use SDI cables, which is my preferred method anyways. It's displaying the 1.5, so aspect ratio, crop and scale. And now, that's the same thing that we just had before. And then on that note, it's really easy to convert the footage. When you drag and drop your footage into Premiere, all you gotta do is select, right click, modify, interpret footage, pixel aspect ratio, conform to, and then from there you could kind of see, you could pick your different aspect ratios. So what I did was pick DVC Pro HD 1.5, that's a 1.5 squeeze first, and then I dropped it into my UHD timeline, which is 3840 by 2160. That's just, you know, regular 4K UHD. Once I dropped the clip in, I did scale to frame size, and then I recently bought some overlays from Tropic Color, just like a bunch of different aspect ratios, and I have the 239 one for UHD 4K, and I resized it. Let's see. Yeah, I only had to move the clip in to 111. So that's chill. I guess, you know, I could also talk about the build quality is excellent. I mean, I think you get the 3-lens kit for $3,000. I mean, these lenses are built like a freaking tank. I was very impressed with the build quality. I also like how small they are. Good looking lenses. Quick tests in my apartment. You know, even just first I started shooting in my house, shooting random stuff. Put some diopters on. The rental that I had included some diopters. Basically, that allows you just closer up, kind of like a macro sort of thing. Then just went around the neighborhood, shot some stuff. I think for some stuff I had stabilization on. Definitely turn that off your camera. It was giving me some weird warpy stuff, but I was having a lot of fun. I feel like for the first time in a while, I mean, I shouldn't say that, but it was like very inspiring because I've never shot anamorphic. This was just like a new experience, new way of composing, different field of view. I really don't like testing stuff of leaves and cars and random stuff, but I didn't have anyone to help out and I just wanted to run out and do something before the next day. That's when I was waking up super early for my scout. We're doing like a spec headphone commercial and we're gonna shoot starting before sunrise, and I wanted to go to my location at that time to see how the access is, and then also can I just like, let's see what it looks like. And I actually will share some excerpt that I sent to my director and gaffer. I basically made them a little mini vlog or just like a little recap of some of my thoughts. So here's that. Sun started to peek through around like 7. You know, we'll clean up some of these cones and probably, I don't know, I mean, there is a lot of bird. I don't know if we want to like mop some stuff up or just kind of shoot around it. There's a few different ways to open the park. No one was there. There's like one person on a bench. You know, early in the morning, it's definitely more contrasty. I just like added like a quick LUT on this and just possible test frames, and you know, don't judge any of this. This is like the reverse way. Probably won't shoot that way. Sun's starting to rise. This is all 24p 2391 on the 45 mil. I think it'd be cool to like get a shot like kind of looking up like that. We'll just have someone catch the ball. I thought that was a vibe. And you know, when the sun starts to rise, you're definitely getting these like layers of like lightness and darkness kind of all over. I'm just kind of trying to show each way. I think shooting this way works. Kind of showing you out of focus. You know, there was no one, well, until later. As you could see, if we do shoot that way, there's that crane. Not crazy about that. I kind of like these like reveal kind of shots where like you get a little like foreground texture of something. I don't know exactly which one and where it's going to be, but by the way, the main net is fine. And this is all between like 6 and 6:45 a.m. this first part. And then I was like, all right, here's a cone. I'm going to pretend like this is a human. And then finally a little bit of sun peeked out. It was kind of a cloudy morning, so I didn't get like a ton. You could kind of see that flare. This is amber flares. And I do want to get like an exact shot list. The sun starting to pop over the trees around 7-11. Sun's popping out here. We need to decide what shots need to be shot towards the trees when the sun is through, because once the sun peaks out, so I didn't have enough ND, but that might be like, just thinking if I stopped it down, it might become too much of a silhouette. Obviously we could still shoot, and you'll see more examples as I cook on, but we do just need to make a decision of like what shots are being shot this way, because it's going to look best between 6 and 6:45. And by the way, those gates were open. I think that place is open 24/7 if I had to take a guess. And then I saw someone playing basketball and I was like, let me film him. And then I'm like, yo, dude, do you care if I film you? He's like, yeah, go for it. So some of these shots, not the best focus, and this is on the other court. I do kind of like the way this looks, kind of with like him just kind of backlit. The light is really nice, even for some of these closer up shots. Hold like a big like diffusion frame if we want to diffuse it a little bit. That's my boy Fernando. also think a shot just kind of head on like that, kind of like a hero shot, could be really nice, like those flares again. But yeah, dude, this is like really cool. I'm happy I went and did this. And also another consideration, the longer it goes, you know, it's going to be bright in the talent's face. So let's also just be mindful of that. You know, it's funny, even like after having this lens for like 48 hours, I was like, you know, the things that make me money, I do a lot of documentary video, corporate video, some commercial branded stuff. Shooting anamorphic doesn't really make sense for me. Just where I am right now, I'm using mostly just like G Master, Sony zooms and primes. That makes sense for me. I have autofocus, but the hope is I'm gonna make this, it's a spec headphone commercial. It's gonna look like something and at a different level than anything I've shot before. It's gonna be totally different, totally unique, shot anamorphic. Trying to rent this, it's hard to get someone to rent me just one lens. Everyone's like, no, it'd have to be the full kit. I only wanted to rent one lens. I see people renting the kits out between $200 and $350. Let's say you were able to rent the kit out for $300. Let's say the 3-lens kit. Now, if it's $3,000 for the set, you rent that out 10 times, you've already made your money back. I think these are fairly popular now. I'm not saying I'm gonna go buy this right now. It did spark my interest, kind of in a way that, you know, vintage lenses have sparked my interest in the past. And, you know, I've done a lot of reviews on Carl Zeiss Sienna lenses. I have a full set of them. But truthfully, that lens set really doesn't get a lot of play. That's more of a for me set when I'm shooting stuff for fun, but I don't really use that for paid work, which is like kind of a bummer. And again, I think that would change if the type of work I was doing would change. I don't think I'd sell it, but I was like, damn, should I swap that back out for the Blazars? Because like I said, I haven't been inspired like that from lenses in a really long time. In my last vlog, I asked you guys if you had any questions. I kind of want to make this a new segment in the vlog. So again, if you guys have any questions, it could be about anything, let me know in the comments. And if I think it's a good question, I'll answer it in the next vlog. This just, you know, gives another little segment to these. Okay, so Ben Arno, let me know if that's the correct pronunciation. He asks, from my question, what's been your best approach to client acquisition? Is it strictly networking, cold outreach, word of mouth? Great question. A few different things. Lately, it's a lot of referrals, which are, I guess, word of mouth and repeat customers. Ways that I still attempt to get work, I use Staff Me Up, Production Hub, and Upwork. Staff Me Up, I think I just signed up in the last year. I actually don't know if I've actually gotten a job on there yet. Maybe one, or I've been close. Production Hub, I've gotten 1 or 2. Upwork, that's a freelancer's website. I've been using that for several years. That kind of work is more so where I'm being hired as a production company for the most part, at least. So, and I've gotten some of my bigger clients from there, but not as much lately. Occasionally from Facebook groups. I have also gotten work just through Instagram and YouTube. Put yourself out there. Instagram, YouTube, wherever. Just let everyone know that you're the video guy. That's kind of what I've been doing. And luckily, I'm at a point right now in my career where I don't spend every day, you know, feeling like I need to, you know, reach out, network, whatever. But I mean, I remember at the beginning of my career, I mean, when I moved home, I reached out to every single production company. Hey, do you need a hand on stuff? Love your work. My main thing was shooting weddings. I reached out to every wedding video production company. Hey, I shoot weddings. Here's my stuff. I mean, even just like a bunch of different businesses and stuff that I, you know, was trying to build like a little direct to client thing. Keep shooting your shots. That, and when you do good work, it'll lead to more good work. And if it's a good client and they have a lot of needs, they'll probably hire you again. So I hope that helped. I feel like I could have a whole vlog or talk for like a long time about that. Hopefully that answered your question. Anyway, so yeah, let me know if you guys have any other questions. That's about it for this week. I had a really good time using this lens. They definitely intrigued me and are somewhat on my radar. Maybe after I shoot this spec commercial, maybe there will be a request for anamorphic stuff. Who knows? There will be a lot of content surrounding that. So subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I really want to get to 3,000 subscribers this year. It'd be really sick. One of my big 2024 goals. And yeah, you know, follow me on Instagram as well at John Waldman. I post a lot of behind the scenes stuff of when I'm on set. And I got some other stuff cooking. So stay tuned. Alrighty guys, till the next one. Bye.